January 9th, 2023. Folks, welcome to Werewolf Radar, the world's premier paranormal preparedness podcast. My name's Jordan Dahl.
I am Roger Norquist.
And Redacted is not here today. Redacted is missing today.
If you happen to see Redacted, please let us know. Hit us up at redacted.com /redacted is missing.
Redacted come home /angelfire dot OnlyFans.
Yeah, we're not gonna go pay for a website. We're gonna hook one up through the OnlyFans website and then put that on our Angel Fire.
Yeah. Today's episode of Werewolf Radar is brought to you by the Monstroco brand Greg Wrench. You've heard of the Allen Wrench. This is a lot like that, but imbued with the screaming face of Greg. The Greg Wrench from Monstroco. What the fuck? It's mainly for use on Monstroco products. The only time that you'll find kind of a Greg faced screw is like on Monstroco products that they've sent.
So if I buy the Monstroco Tesla car, where it's just the screaming head of Tesla and his bones put into a car.
Yes. Yeah, okay. Well, we don't have a Nate Balding today. He is nowhere to be found at present. But
if you see him once again,
hit us up. Oh shit. I think they forgot to redact that one. I'm guessing this time he's going to be found in an orchard.
Ooh, but what type of orchard? An orange orchard? Oh.
Pear.
Bear orchard.
No, pear. The fruit pear. A bear orchard? Good Lord, I hope not.
Could you imagine all those bears strapped to those trees just swiping?
I'd rather bloody not. I'll tell you as much. I don't mind.
Well,
but Roger,
shall I go first?
Take the speaking skull, place it upon your noble brow, and pretend like it is your head.
All right.
Of course, the sound of somebody screwing a skull onto their own skull.
So this week I pulled from the Twitter, and a listener, Pingo, Dark Council member, shared with us deep Merseyside tunnels haunted by dwarves and witches.
Whoa, that's a bad combination. You do not want to get those two groups together.
Thank you, Ken / Cheesebot of Doom, for sharing this.
Shout out. And I'm a pretty forward thinking guy, but as far when it comes to dwarves and witches, keep them separated. As the Offspring says.
You don't want them to be together. Or do you?
Or do you? Okay, so unless you're paying for, oh boy, what happened? Tell me about the tunnels. Tell me about the tunnels before I commit any opinion or money to it.
Well, here is a screen grab of the tunnels.
Just to look at.
Surrounded the abandoned tunnels for decades. The caption to the picture here: we explored the abandoned Merseyside caves haunted by dwarves and witches. Image from Liverpool Echo.
All right.
So there have long been legends surrounding deep caves in St. Helens. Crank Caves, formerly Rainford Delph Quarry, is an abandoned cave system to the north of St. Helens. Due to the sheer size and darkness of the tunnels, urban legends and myths have been dreamed up by adults and kids alike.
Oh boy, they take turns, I guess.
Yeah, they swap off. First the adults, then the kids.
And the adult ones are like, I came up with a urban legend about a great property with water rights and low mortgage and APR, etc., fiduciary benefits, And then the kids come in, and that's where you get the ones where it's like, I thought of a guy with a bell for a head.
And perhaps even dwarves. So legends range from children being chased by dwarves to underground tunnels leading to other parts of the burrow and paranormal activity, which I like how dwarves are not lumped in with paranormal activity.
Mm-hmm.
Dwarves are normal. You get chased by dwarves all the time.
Yeah.
In 2022, the Echo visited, that's the paper I'm pulling this from, liverpoolecho.co.uk.
Hey, you're looking at the Echo.
Aaron Curran. So where was I? There's the dwarves chasing those evil children. Echo visited Crank Caverns in an attempt to see if the myths were true. Now officially closed to the public, the caves can be seen from a nearby footpath.
Okay.
Taking pictures from the outside of the cave is advised, and it is not recommended that you venture inside due to unsafe surfaces.
Yeah, like fucking the ground is covered in dwarfs.
One popular legend.
For one.
One popular legend around the caves is a story of little boys being chased by dwarves. In the 1930s, a group of reporters went looking for the dwarves.
And one reporter went looking for the little boys.
Man, if you think journalism is crazy now, the 1890s through the 1940s was just batshit journalism to where like, what are you doing with you and your reporter?
I got a line on some goblins chasing some children through the caves. You want to take a trip with me? You want to take a whiskey and cigarette fueled trip with me up the shore to look at a cave? You want to take a real sick staker with me?
Now it's all just
that's where you're gone for at least 6 steaks.
Now it's just whiskey and cigarette fueled trips to the courthouse, picking up work for the AP.
Yeah,
Lewis,
where has the dignity
love of the game gone?
Yeah, that's it. Willie Loman, etc.
Lewis Atherton, an exploring UK history folklore podcast. From Exploring History UK Folklore Podcast. Great name for search engines, though, man. I bet you come up a lot.
Yeah. Wow.
There's a story
one of our boys in blue.
There's a story from the 1970s of 3 children. They're teenagers who went through the mousy. I guess that's what it's called colloquially. They're teenagers who went through the mousy, and it's described in the newspaper that the mousy hole went in a circle, and that's all that's left. But they went down there with candles.
Okay. Well, trying to keep it spooky, you know?
I don't think they had matches, and if they did, they only had 2 or 3 matches, and the cave, mountain, and rescue had to haul them out.
Trying to keep it spooky.
Another myth surrounding Crank Caves is that there could be a cathedral deep within the caves.
KISS, keep it spooky, stupid.
However,
why would there be a cathedral? That's spooky.
But that's some cult shit there. However, I mean, there's many cases of cultures long ago who built many cathedrals and temples within caves. In fact, I can't remember. I think it's Destination Truth who went and documented a recently discovered temple in a cave system in Thailand.
Wow, crazy.
And it was like exquisite.
Real.
Like the work was people like caves, man. You can do a lot of stuff with a cave. Sometimes they cave in on you, though.
Build a whole world in there.
You could.
For your god or whatever.
Let the vampires take over the surface. Just be an underground person.
Yeah, snails are money now.
Another myth surrounding Crank Caves is that there could be a cathedral deep within the caves. However, research, along with Claire Rigby from Momo's Cafe on the podcast, believe that is not the case.
Okay.
In 2021, they're like, I don't think that's true.
Bullshit.
Until I see a picture, I think there's a cult altar in there.
Yeah, a culter.
In 2021, the Echo asked readers what myths and legends residents have heard about Crank Caverns and if they have ever visited. Samantha Ashton said, I heard there's a tunnel that takes you to Billinge Hill.
I heard of a secret tunnel. I heard there was a secret chord. What David played and pleased the Lord.
And get this, Jordan, you were right the whole time that there is a church down there and that there were goblins.
Oh, Goblin Church. Holy moly, that's a cool metal band name.
She said, my hubby went in a bit further than I managed.
Wow.
Which was literally the little gate. I don't like confined spaces.
And I hate goblin gates.
Catherine Barnes said, my granddad was gamekeeper after the war, and the family lived in the White House as it went with the job. The UK is different. Our president stays in the White House.
It's a whole different system.
Yeah, gamekeepers. I assume that the gamekeeper is the same political position as the president here.
Yes, pretty much, yeah.
It seemed to be haunted because the door would slam and footsteps would be heard crossing the room, but nobody was there.
Pretty standard ghost stuff.
And to kind of round out a little bit of this segment on the Merseyside tunnels and Crank Caverns, I have the history of Crank Caverns right here. It was a quarry beginning there in 1730. As the quarry expanded, the cost of purchasing land increased, of course, so they decided to opt for a different method. Instead of quarrying out stone, they would mine it out, following a seam of stone until it ran out. So these are all man-made tunnels. So very much there could be a cathedral in there.
Well, here's also the thing. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Myths and legends. It is well known that during the Reformation period, local Catholics being persecuted by King Henry VIII took shelter in the caverns and conducted secret mass there, adding proof that there might be a cathedral in there.
But what of the goblins?
Let me see real quickly. I'm trying to skim past the religious persecution of Catholics. It goes on
to the religious persecution of goblins.
Vicious dwarves.
Whoa.
Were once rumored to inhabit a labyrinth of caverns in Crank. In the late 18th century, 4 children decided to explore the sandstone caverns and vanished.
Yikes.
One child survived and told a story about small old men with beards who killed his 3 friends and chased him.
Just killed him, huh? That sounds like a little serial killer lying to their parents. Oh, no, the dwarves got them.
All my segments turn true crime. The petrified child stumbled over human bones in the caves and finally managed to scramble through an opening to the surface as a hand was grabbing at his ankle.
Wow.
The authorities were concerned because a number of people had gone missing in the area near the cave entrances.
Yeah.
2 heavily armed soldiers descended into the caves with torches and claimed that they not only found a heap of human bones They also found the ruins of an ancient church of some unknown denomination.
Whoa, dwarf church.
And this is from the Wikipedia.
Bones for the bone god.
The interior of the church was lit by 3 large candles and grotesque gargoyles formed part of an altar.
Whoa.
Throughout the exploration of the underground, the soldiers said they felt as if they were being watched and also heard voices speaking in an unknown language.
What do you think Dwarvish sounds like?
Old Norse or fucking Middle English, just like something gone. What a disgusting language English was. Where was it? They were being watched. They heard unknown language. One report said that a child's head was found in a cave along with evidence of cannibalism.
Whoa. So the little boy did it.
After a second investigation, the caves either collapsed or gunpowder was used to seal them.
Well, you don't remember?
Dude, it was the fucking, where are we?
70s, man.
It was the 1750s and shit. We weren't keeping records. We were throwing gunpowder in holes and lighting it.
We were, running around naked, blowing up dwarves. Who knows what?
Who knows whose mouth was on what? Don't worry about it. Anyway, thank you much, Cheesebot of Doom, for sending this on Twitter. We really appreciate it. That has been my segment on the Merseyside Tunnels and the Crank Caverns, or it's Werewolf Radar's title, There Be Dwarves in My Holes.
Goblin Church. Wow, very cool. I've never heard of that. That's a cool one.
The speaking skull.
Please toss me the speaking skull, and I'm actually going to grab it, and I'm going to dunk it in this pot of stew, and I'm going to use it to make a speaking stew. Because that's maybe what happened. That's maybe what happened when we discuss. Wait, hang on. I can do this better. Hang on. Okay.
Wait.
Everybody take a clap there. Okay, because I'm gonna make this soup because that's maybe what happened to a few heads in Canada's Nahanni Valley. You ever heard of the Nahanni Valley?
No, I'm not familiar with a lot of Canadian legends. Like
maybe
deep legends beyond Wendigo.
Maybe that's more because you've heard of it by its other name. The Valley of Headless Men.
No. This is brand new and a treat and awesome.
So
and you're getting top billing this week on the thumbnail.
Yes. This is from ancientorigins.net. This is brought to my attention by my brother. Shout out to Dark Council member. His name is my brother. Shout out. This is Valley of Headless Men. Mysterious decapitations in Canada's Nahanni Valley. Dun, dun, dun.
What mystery? I love a good headless body mystery.
The Northwestern Territories of Canada are truly one of Earth's last true wild places. One of its special national park reserves, called the Nahanni Valley, is, however, a little bit wilder than most. That was like a panther thing. It is home to some strange myths and mysteries and boasts a fearsome reputation for being a haunted and deadly place. This remote, wild valley is not just inhospitable due to its rugged terrain, extreme weather, and predators, but it's also due to some unexplained circumstances. Over the decades, many unfortunate travelers and explorers have gone missing, or they turned up dead and, you guessed it, beheaded. What do you think you need when you go camping, Roger?
What year is it? Is it modern times? Of course it is, because this is from modern times. I need a tent.
Uh-huh.
I need a sleeping pad. I need a sleeping bag.
Uh-huh.
I need a weapon of sorts.
Uh-huh.
I don't have a gun, but I would like a gun and then also an axe.
You forgot one important thing that you need for camping. A fucking head.
Oh. Well, I mean, I thought that was implied.
The number of decapitated bodies found within Nahanni Valley have earned it the nickname Valley of Headless Men. What is the explanation of this mystery? Well, first let's talk about some of those headless men that we're talking about. Some people say that the Nahanni Valley is one of the last truly unexplored places in the world, situated within the rugged Northwest Territories of Canada, well over 500 kilometers or 311 miles.
Nice. What's the color of your energy?
Of your headless valley. From the nearest 311 miles from the nearest city of Yellowknife. It's one of those nature's nooks that preserved in spite of mankind's busy expansion. Blah, 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 blah. Remained untouched for years and years. However, it seems that they never lived exactly along, the people who settled there never lived exactly along the Nahanni River and its tributaries, from which the Nahanni Valley gets its name. Their oral histories passed down through the generations speak of another tribe living there, one called the Naha. So this is a little bit of history on this area.
I have a pin too where this remote area
the Dene,
is.
Or kind of the people of the area, tell that the Naha were a warlike tribe living high in the mountains and descending into the lowlands to raid and kill. They became the main foes of the Dene peoples and were greatly feared by them. The name Nahanni itself is of Dene origin, means the river of the land of the Naha people. So within the Nahanni Valley, there was kind of this legend of this kind of scary warlike tribe. These oral histories and the name itself are very important, as they are certain proof that a different indigenous tribe once dwelt here. However, the Dene state that the Naha people simply vanished at one time, ceasing their raids and disappearing altogether. Mystery surrounds these so-called Naha, but no trace of them has ever been found. So far, they are only found in stories, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at the Wikipedia just for the national park that this place is for, and legitimate sources are saying that these people these people are said to have rather quickly and mysteriously disappeared.
Yeah.
Just be like, just like there's answers for various things, like the Mayans leaving and Aztecs vanishing, but like even archaeology is all like, no, this is mysterious as fuck.
Yeah. This goes on to say this mystery would have likely died out quickly, being dubbed just another legendary story of an indigenous tribe, but several eerie deaths and disappearances within the Nahanni Valley achieved the opposite result. The mysteries surrounding this place were only fueled further, and Nahanni became the focus of many mystery hunters, and most of this focus was on a special place within the valley, one called the 200-Mile Gorge. The Dene natives speak of an unknown evil dwelling there, and few ever enter it, I say, especially because of the events that transpired there. For it's the 200-Mile Gorge that gained the grisly epithet, the Valley of the Headless Men. The origins of the eerie nickname can be traced to the early 20th century. These guys go out to, this was during the gold rush. You know the gold rush?
I know the gold rush. I found lots of gold.
Let's fucking do some gold. And they were like way into it. Lots of people were going out there to strike gold. Two of these prospectors decided to forego the traditional routes and locations leading to Yukon and instead try their luck in the Nahanni Valley. They were two brothers of Métis ancestry, Willie and Frank McLeod. In 1906, they canoed upriver to reach the Nahanni Valley, and that was the last time anyone saw them alive.
Oh.
In 1908, 2 years later, a search party discovered their skeletons at the remains of a camp. Both were headless. Seemingly, they were asleep when they were attacked. The body of one of the brothers lay reaching out towards a gun, indicating a need for defense. A third man, their companion surnamed Weir, was missing. From here on, the mysteries deepened. Who would decapitate so ruthlessly two peaceful prospectors? What happened to their heads? Rumors began. That's a whole sentence. Who would cut these guys' head off? And where are those darn heads? Rumors began spreading, and many wild theories were put forward. Some spoke of feuding prospectors killing one another. Others attributed the deaths to wild animals, while some
not so much on this one.
While some spoke of inhospitable, warlike natives, leaving the headless corpses as a warning to other trespassers. Theories floated about until another corpse was discovered in 1917. This is almost 10 years later. It was that of a Swiss prospector named Martin Jorgensen. His body was discovered decapitated next to the remains of his cabin. It was burned to the ground. It is supposed that he struck gold in the vicinity as he wrote of it back home before ending up beheaded. So, let's think about this.
Okay.
He goes up here, strikes gold. He writes home about it. He says, what's his name? Jorgensen. He was like, I found all the gold we'll ever need. And then when they found his body, he was outside of his cabin with his head chopped off, and his cabin had been burned to the ground.
Yeah, this is
what's that all about?
This is some theory. It makes it cinematically, thinking of it like a movie.
Yeah.
It makes it seem like someone set his cabin ablaze. He walked out. You know, they confronted him. They were like, Jorgen, step out your cabin.
Yeah.
And he does, and they just decapitate him.
Yeah. An article from February 15th.
Where's the fucking head?
1947 issue of the Deseret newspaper titled Headless Valley Myths Dispelled goes in depth while trying to bash all the mystery and find logic for the murders. Much of the article's contents are unsubstantiated and mere guesswork. There it is said that Jorgensen and the McLeod brothers were all murdered for the gold that they had discovered. No evidence for this was ever found. In 1927, another body was found in the Nahanni, belonging to a man nicknamed Yukon Fisher.
Nice,
pretty good. Sounds like he could be a fighter in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Variously dubbed an outlaw and a prospector. This is the guy who the script's going to be about. This man was sought by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police for several years before his death. The officials found his skeleton on the banks of Bennett Creek, quite close to the place where the bodies of the McLeod brothers were found in 1908. His death was never fully explained, nor was the fact that he was known to possess a solid number of gold nuggets with which he purchased goods on the frontier.
I mean, strong candidate. He finds something. I follow him.
Maybe he's just out there killing people. Yeah.
Take his gold, you know.
Then in 1931, another body was found. This time, it was that of Phil Powers. His charred remains were discovered in the ashes of what was his cabin. The RCMP were quick to attribute his death to, quote unquote, a faulty stovepipe. But their explanation was repeatedly debunked by various sources. Phil Powers, for what it's worth, was likely murdered and his cabin set ablaze. Many others simply disappeared without a trace in the remote wilderness of the Nahanni Valley. In 1928, one prospector named Angus Hall ventured ahead of his party and was never seen again. I'm going ahead, guys. I'm going to run ahead.
Yeah. We'll see you soon.
I'm sure you will. Never saw him again.
Where did his head run off to?
It's a good question. Another pair of prospectors, Joe Mulholland and Bill Epier, disappeared in 1936. For many years, they were searched for but never found. The only thing discovered was their cabin burned to the ground. A woman named Anne Laferte also went missing in Nahanni in 1926 with her hunting part. So that could be partner, party. They could be talking about a gun. Do you have your hunting part? Yes. She was present in the valley near Flat River, but got lost in the wilderness and disappeared. Many months later, an Indian by the name of Big Charlie claimed to have seen the woman climbing a hill while totally naked, seemingly to have lost her mind.
That's what I was kind of thinking. I was waiting for it to happen here, and I might have jumped the gun. I apologize, but this had a lot of like Dottlove Pass type energy too. A lot of mysterious deaths. The burning of the cabin intrigues me. A lot of burning, a lot of set on fires, a lot of burnsings. Now we have a naked woman.
Yeah, this is where it gets really strange. She became just another of the many victims in the wild Nahanni Valley. So inhospitable was the Nahanni Valley that even in the 1920s, it was still unexplored. Maps of the region showed almost nothing except two flat lines that indicated the two main rivers. Wow. Nahanni and Flat. It would take decades for an accurate map to be created.
I'm watching the chat, and could they be right? And this is Highlanders.
Could be Highlanders.
And the cabin's being set ablaze when the quickening happens and the lightning strikes them.
Sure. I mean, that is a possibility, I suppose. Boy, I never thought about that. Well, it says here that in the winter, the Nahanni Valley is relatively inhospitable. With the freezing cold and the ravaging timber wolves, this nature can claim the lives of the most experienced outdoorsmen. But in the warmer months, this valley transforms into a truly unique environment. So much so that many dubbed it tropical. It can turn into a true oasis, being warm and lush with vegetation. One can even bathe in the creeks and streams, fearing no coldness. And that's all due to the hot sulfur springs that can be found here. Hot springs lie all beneath the valley and give it an additional dose of mystery. The sulfur can often fill the air with an odd smell, forts, and more than that, the combination of the hot sulfury air and the cooler Arctic air above it created thick and mysterious mists that often cover the entire Nahanni Valley, obscuring it from view, creating an eerie, otherworldly ambience. This gave rise to tales of a mysterious, quote-unquote, tropical valley that exists somewhere within the huge Nahanni Valley. While there is a chance that the clash of the hot and sulfuric air and the cold Arctic climate can create a unique environment, a tropical valley still seems far-fetched. Or does it? Screams Werewolf Radar into the night.
We always scream it in the night, never fear.
Scientists, those few that have ever set foot in the valley, discovered numerous remains of prehistoric animals, chiefly bones of mastodons and ancient bear dogs. To that end, many have said that these animals still live within the deepest, most remote nooks of the Nahanni. Tales exist of trappers seeing fresh tracks of prehistoric mammals and bringing back huge ivory tusks with flesh and hair still visible. Other tales state that many of the Dene tribe elders living in the area were able to accurately draw pictures of mastodons, as if from memory. Another prevalent story tells of the prehistoric bear dogs, Amphicyonidae, still roaming the valley.
Interesting. What? Like what chat's saying, the Savage Land in Marvel Comics, a land lost to time and Darwinian evolution.
For real. And every time people try to go there and steal the abundant resources, the gold, the delicious river lobsters, the coconuts, they get attacked by the underdwellers, the ones who dwell in the springs year round.
I mean, all this is fucking crazy. You have the murder mystery going on. You have the possibility of a savage land.
Yeah.
Huts burning down. This one lady goes insane and decides to die of hypothermia in the Yukon mountains.
Yeah. There's been other stories of stuff like that too. Of people going up and kind of going crazy on their parties, specifically within the valley. Other people think that the Nahanni Valley is the entrance to the so-called Hollow Earth. And that's why it's all lush and all dinosaur-y, and that's where the dinosaurs went. And that kind of does it for my segment on the Nahanni, or as it's sometimes known, the Headless Valley.
Bravo. Bravo, bravo.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I've never known of this land, the Nahanni Valley.
Mm-hmm.
I also found something while just looking it up for fun ideas for pictures and stuff. The Nukluk.
The Nukluk. Oh yeah, I know about this actually.
Around the same time as sightings of that creature, the Amphision, the bear dog.
Mm-hmm.
There were sightings of this bear dog in the 1960s. At the same time, there was also sightings of a hairy, half-naked subhuman.
All right, well, that's me.
You were clad in a moose skin loincloth, carrying a stone club.
Wow.
And sporting a long, dark beard.
Dude, do you think that this guy's taking the heads?
I mean,
back to the hot springs and stewing them into power stew so he'll have the energy to take more heads?
Yes.
Bro.
Yes, I was. It was called the Nukluk by the local Denis.
Wow.
This creature sharply invoked the old tales of the hairy cave-dwelling cannibals.
Whoa.
First told around Denis campfires long ago.
They also, the Dene talk about this valley and tell stories about white figures that walk in the woods and are like these murderous entities that you can't see until it's too late. So there are all kinds of directions this thing could take. Needless to say, there are reported murders, seemingly, all throughout history from this specific valley in Canada.
Indeed. And it seems that you don't build a cabin there, just going to set on fire.
Yeah, many of which have similar ends, meet similar ends.
Don't go in there, paranormal preparedness, just avoid the area.
Just don't go in there. Treat with fire. Stay out of there. Folks, I think that does it for this week's episode of Werewolf Radar. Short though it was, we apologize.
Great. I don't apologize for nothing. I told you about the Mercy Caverns.
No apologies. No apologies from Roger.
No apologies from you. I'm taking yours, giving it back to you.
Oh, he took mine. He's giving it back to me.
Enjoy Jordan's segment on the Nahanni Valley.
Thank you so much for coming and kicking it with us. Cheesebot, Janet Bravo, kicking it in the Zoom room. A from Beyond, Dark Council members, y'all are the best. Thank you for your continued support of the podcast. If you are listening to this and you don't know what any of that means, you can go to patreon.com/Werewolf Radar and you could sign up to become a Dark Council member, which will get you all kinds of backstage access to come and hang out while we record the podcast, and you'll get some merch, and you'll get an additional podcast every week called The Grave Nugget. You'll get everything your wicked little heart desires and more.
Suggestions. We'll listen to you first for suggestions on what we should talk about, like what we talked about.
Please tell us what we should talk about.
This episode.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Check us out on Mondays over on twitch.tv/werewolf_radar. That's where we go to play dice games. And this last week, Roger was playing video games, and it was pretty fucking cool. I got to see
right now.
a game that I wanted to play. Yeah.
I like the dark tide. I'm a level 30 sharpshooter. Pew,
oh,
pew, pew.
dang. You heard
That's
it
what I
first,
do. I'm
folks.
very annoying in the game chat. I say it every time.
Nice. Good. That's what the people deserve. Shout out to Chuck from Snappy Little Numbers for our intro and outro song, and shout out to you, the listener, for fucking being awesome. Please give us 5 stars wherever you can. It really helps people find the pod, and we would love it if they found the pod.
It's also a nice thing to do. Give people 5 stars. People work hard for your ears.
Until next time, as always, our sign-off line on the count of 3. Join me, Roger. 1, 2, 3. Punch the sky, Spaceman Joe!